Coming up on this week's Sowerby and Luff Deluxe, an epidemic of young people paying good money to make themselves look like aliens.
In Corridors of Conspiracy, were the pyramids built to generate electricity?
Ooh, and back by public demand, Derek the Psychic Seahorse will be here once again. This is Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.
On tape from Studio Senseless in leafy London town, it's Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.
There is a place where dreams live.
Welcome, weary travellers through day-to-day life, to Sowerby and Luff Deluxe, your brief sojourn from the worries of the world. I'm Brian Luff.
And I'm Georgina Sowerby.
And kicking off, as always, it's Matters Arising.
Good. Matters Arising.
Before the official Matters Arising that I've written down, I've found my headphones.
I know. I knew you would.
Yeah. Some people have been hanging on the whole week. Waiting to see if I found my headphones.
And had you just put them somewhere different?
Yeah, I thought they were the spare ones.
You always put them in the same place, don't you?
So, first Matters Arising. Let's get on to the big stuff first of all.
Yeah. What's happening this week?
Crumbs in the bottom of the cornflake box.
Oh, yeah.
Now, should you eat them or should you throw them away?
Oh, eat them every time. Do you know what? The crumbs at the bottom of a box are really good. If you heat some milk and add the crumbs, it's like yummy porridge. Look at your face.
I'm not
the answer
convinced.
is no. I think you throw them away along with the teaspoons,
because there's nothing worse when you get the last proper bowl of cornflakes out,
true.
and underneath them is all the crumbs, and it just fills your nice bowl of cornflakes with horrible crumbs.
It's like sawdust, really, isn't it? Sawdust cereal.
But then, having said that, I feel guilty about throwing them away because it's wasting food.
It is wasting food, and none of us should be doing that.
It's a conundrum. Now, I know that you like your crispy bits of chips, don't you? When you have chips, what do you call them up north? You call them
chips.
Yeah, when you have chips, there's all the crumbs left. Scraps. Yeah. Now
Come on.
You love scraps.
Those aren't wasted. Those are bits of batter that you put on top of chips.
Up north, they have
delicious.
Scraps. We don't have things like that in London.
Chips and scraps, please.
We're too posh.
You should do. You're not living life to the fullest,
because you like scraps.
So,
I thought you were going to say, don't throw away the crumbs.
I wouldn't tell you what to do. I eat them.
Matter Arising, number 2.
Yeah.
Gravlax or Gravlax?
Gravlax.
There is a commercial running at the moment for 3 Mobile. It annoys the shit out of me every time it comes on. Because
no surprise
Because
there.
Gravlax is spelt Gravadlax.
Yes.
And it's dumbed down by dumb people to Gravlax. Gravlax.
Maybe that's what the young people are saying.
For anyone who doesn't know what it is, it's salmon. It's smoked salmon.
It's smoked salmon
with a kind of
dill.
nice, with dill on it, right?
Yeah.
And in this bloody commercial, not only do they say Gravlax,
yes,
but they write it down and put it on a posh menu in a restaurant, because the whole thing is set in a posh restaurant,
right? Yes.
And this kid holds up this huge menu. There's no way in a million years that in that kind of restaurant it would say Gravlax.
No.
And every time I see it, it annoys me. It doesn't annoy you, I can tell.
It doesn't. No,
you haven't even noticed, have you?
I hadn't noticed it was spelt wrong. The whole commercial is based around him not knowing what it means.
Exactly.
And then he finds out what it means.
Yes.
But if it's spelt wrong, then what's happening in the world?
Exactly. He has learned the lesson that if you go to 3 Mobile and search, that you can find out the wrong information. Right? That's what he's learned in that commercial.
Yeah, but it could just have two spellings.
Matters arising number 3.
Yeah.
Georgina, I gather you have an update on your friend's ghost.
Yeah, the ghost. She tried the...
We should just say, if you've not heard this show before, this is a friend of Georgina who lives just around the corner from here, who's got a ghost in her loft.
She has got a ghost in her loft. She bought a ghost detector off of Amazon, and that shouldn't be legal. She tried to use it. She said she thought it had sort of worked because the lights flashed. And basically, that's the only thing that... I've told her to bring it in so I can have a look at this ghost detector, because I'm going to hold it up against myself and see if the lights flash, because I suspect they will.
So it's still ongoing then, is it?
No. Her son returned. He's been up there, and there is a gap between the floor and the roof, and he suspects that animals are getting in, which is more or less what we all thought would be happening.
It's going to be a fox.
But
because you've heard the sound, because she recorded it.
It's a very loud sound.
It's got to be a couple of foxes banging.
Maybe. I don't know how they're getting up there, though. It's more likely probably to be squirrels or mice.
Hole.
Yeah.
Big animals can get through small holes.
No, but this is the second floor.
A mouse can get underneath a door.
Yes.
You know, with a tiny little slit.
A mouse can get through something the size of a pencil head.
Mice don't like peppermint.
No.
We have mice. We are putting down...
No, have you seen a mouse?
We're putting down... I haven't seen a mouse since you put down the peppermint.
Since I've started to put peppermint down, so don't scoff. Don't scoff, and the whole flat smells yummily of peppermint.
Yeah, it's a bit weird when you go in the bathroom and it smells of peppermint, though.
That's fine.
So one more Matters arising.
Yeah.
Thanks a million to all the listeners who joined our Zoom Q&A.
Oh, wasn't that fun?
Last week. It was great fun. Great to meet you all.
Yes.
If anyone out there would like to get involved in future Zooms with us,
Zooms.
you can upgrade to Sowerby and Luff VIP access.
Excellent.
That was this week's Matters Arising. Next up, Flying Saucers Ate My Pants.
Flying saucers ate my pants.
In Flying Saucers Ate My Pants this week, the rise of the alien face.
Yes, okay.
Now, this is a slight sideways step from what we normally do in aliens. I was looking for alien stories, and I found something online that was a story that was actually from Crouch End, which is where we are right now.
Yeah.
And it was a piece written by a cosmetic surgeon, right, who has a practice in Crouch End, coincidentally at the very same building that our doctor's surgery is
Okay.
in. Right, okay. So for once, I'm not going to disguise his name, because this is very interesting and it's something I'm particularly interested in. A cosmetic surgeon from Leafy Crouch End called Stephen Harris.
Yeah.
Brackets,
His real
name, says many patients now want to distort their faces like aliens.
That aliens distort their faces or to look like aliens?
It's because he says they are chasing unrealistic and ridiculous Instagram beauty standards.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know what we're talking about here, just watch the current season of The Apprentice.
I knew you were going to say that. There's a girl there with lips that are just like pouty, aren't they? They're
Every
like,
time.
They're like little cushions.
Every time she appears on screen, we cry laughing. Dr. Harris, that's his real name, actually uses the term alienization.
Oh.
This is how some doctors refer to distortion of facial features that are outside of the normal range.
Normal range?
For an individual human face.
Okay.
And then he goes on to furiously slam the more unscrupulous of his cosmetic surgery colleagues for pumping these particular patients full of way too much filler. We're so used to seeing this now, Georgina.
I always love, when I hear the word filler, I always think of concrete. It's bad, isn't it? Concrete face.
Well, the thing is, it started off
it moves as much as concrete.
It started off with lips, and now it's gone to cheekbones and eyelids and eyebrows.
Yes.
And, you know, he's right. Instagram is now full of hideously distorted faces. Now, it's sad to say, but these people are actually self-harming, in my view. But it's not their fault. They've been unconsciously brainwashed by other Instagram users.
What about if they're being brainwashed by aliens?
Well, that's possible as well.
And the aliens are on Instagram going, look like us.
I mean,
look like us.
It is possible that the aliens just want us to look like them.
Yeah.
And that it's them that's doing it. But I wish
and
that
face by face, they're turning everyone to aliens.
I wish that was true, but it's Instagram users who've already turned themselves into monsters with alien-like features. Oh, we've got lips like Chinese weather balloons. We've got eyebrows that arch skywards like Mr. Spock.
Yes.
Cheekbones that are now in completely the wrong place for human bone structure. I mean, basically...
They're kind of close to the eye, aren't they? And I get that, because presumably that's to smooth out the laugh lines that you get underneath your eye. But I always remember my mum I used to look at my mum's face, and as she got wrinkles, she just became more and more beautiful.
Yeah.
And when I said to her, are you conscious of the lines? She said, I've earned these lines. And I thought, you're damn right there, lady. You're damn right.
A few years ago, I went to Florida filming.
Yes.
And in Florida, I was with my old friend Benzie, and we spent our whole time laughing because old people in Florida, people who are like 90, walk around with facelifts.
Yes.
And they reduce what they look like from 90 to about 60
Is
or
it
70.
okay to do it at 90 but not at 20?
Exactly. It's now caught on with kids, not just teenagers. Literally, there's kids.
I mean, you don't need plastic surgery when you're 20.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Michael Jackson did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
He completely destroyed his face with years of botched cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
And at that time, many people said...
And he could afford top guys, presumably.
And in those days, we used to say that he had what we would now call the mental health challenges. But now... that kind of exaggerated level of cosmetic surgery has become completely routine. It's become normalised.
Yes.
Millions of young people are walking around with hideously distorted and deformed faces. So, maybe the aliens in their UFOs are secretly looking down.
They're laughing.
They're
laughing at every single girl who does a duck face. Duck face, girl pulling a duck face. And they're going, ha, 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 our plan is working. They look like us more and more every day.
Exactly. The horrible truth is, okay, here's what happens. The more filler a cosmetic surgeon pumps into your face, the more money they make.
Yes.
Right? And these people are far too greedy and dishonest to stop the treatment. They must be able to see what they're doing to some patients is harmful. But these days, less is more has become more is more. More is more.
More is
more.
more.
It's the new more.
It's the new more. Just let's have more, please.
So all these patients with way too much filler on their faces pull a duck face, as you say, take a selfie, put it on Instagram. And other impressionable young people, desperate to keep up with their peer group, then see that picture and think to themselves, I want to look like that. Or worse, I'd better look like that.
Yes.
Or I'll get bullied.
Yeah.
That's the really scary.
Maybe eventually the only person with the natural face will be the person everyone's looking at and going, ugh, what's wrong with her face? Do boys do it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Distorting your face to an unnatural degree is a form of self-harm. That's the serious point that this podcast is now making. And, this practice surely has a direct connection to body dysmorphic disorder.
Yes.
And it's an epidemic. Bad cosmetic surgery is spreading like coronavirus through the population. Soon we'll have a whole generation of kids who look like aliens, and that will become the new normal. Dentists. Now, dentists are guilty.
I know dentists aren't your favourite.
Dentists are guilty of a similar dishonest trade. How many kids have you seen with perfectly normal teeth sporting braces on their teeth?
A lot.
Another epidemic. And that's been going on for years. Braces have become a fashion accessory.
They are in Japan. You can get them in different colours and in different lights. So
it always amazes me when kids used to go on X Factor, right? And they would go on with braces on their teeth. Now, you could have those taken off. If you knew you were going to go on TV, you could have them temporarily removed, couldn't you? And then put them back after you'd done your TV show. But no, they don't, because it's a fashion accessory. Now, here's the really scary bit, Georgina. Eventually, natural selection will take over.
Yes.
The humans with the most grotesque alien faces and mouths full of metal will be thought of as the most attractive.
Yes, but
by the
underneath,
opposite
yeah,
sex.
but underneath they'll just be normal. I mean, it's plastic surgery, so if you start selecting people with the biggest cheekbones and the biggest lips, underneath they're still human. They're not going to give birth to a little baby alien, are they? They're going to give birth to someone who's normal, and then they go and get the plastic surgery 16 years later, or however long it is.
But if that is considered to be attractive, then those people will get together and be more likely to reproduce. So in 1,000 years, all human beings will have giant inflated lips, cheekbones on their foreheads, and tiny, weeny, upturned noses like Disney versions of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
My passing thought on this is don't get brainwashed by Instagram and then conned and ripped off by some cynical, unscrupulous doctor who should be struck off the medical register for grievous bodily harm. There, I said it. More flying saucers ate my pants next time. Coming up, it's the cosmetically perfect Thesaurus Walrus.
If you'd like to follow this podcast on Twitter or Instagram, we are at Sowerby and Luff.
You can visit our website, which is sowerbyandluff.com, or keep in touch by becoming a member of our busy Facebook group, Sowerby and Luff's fully optimised social media network.
SOWERBYANDLUFF.
We've got the wonderful Thesaurus Walrus in the studio with us today.
Hello, Georgina.
Hello, TW. How are you? Are you wet enough? Have you got enough sweets?
I'm very well, thank you.
Excellent. Today's target word, I'm not sure why we're suddenly calling it a target word, but let's go with it.
What's a target word,
I've
Georgina?
no clue at all. It's a word. Today's word, for which I would like you to think of words that mean the opposite of it.
Yes, that's what I always do, isn't
Yes,
it?
today's word is nonsensical.
Nonsensical.
Nonsensical, please.
Okay. So the opposite of nonsensical must be sensical.
Sensical. It's a great word.
Is sensical a word,
I don't think it
Georgina?
is, no, but I'll go with it because it means the opposite. If something is nonsensical, then sensical is indeed opposite of that.
Intelligent.
Yes.
Reasonable.
Reasonable, yes.
Sane.
Sane. Okay.
Conversant.
I like the word
Conversant.
Yes,
It's a nice word
conversant
to
is
say.
a lovely word to say.
Conversant.
Yes, okay.
Sensible.
Yes.
Serious.
Serious.
Counter nonsensical.
Counter nonsensical. I love that.
Nonsensical.
Non-nonsensical. Non-nonsensical. I'm loving that very much. TW, thank you as always. Your sweets are in reception. And will we see you next week?
I can't think of any more.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That'll do.
Thanks for 18 years of hilarious entertainment.
You just leave such a lasting impact of happiness.
I could not have imagined the last 18 years without you guys.
It was goofy, and I liked it, so I started listening to it when I was running at the YMCA. And it just took off from there, and like I said, I introduced the family to it, and we all became listeners.
When it's a rough day, it refreshes the brain, and a good laugh here and there is really wonderful.
Yours is the only podcast I have ever subscribed to.
We've been on this journey together.
Keep it up. Don't stop. Love you both.
Go to patreon.com/Studio Senseless and become a patron of Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.
There is a place where dreams live. Nothing there.
So much still to come on Sowerby and Luff this week. The power plants of ancient Egypt.
Yes.
Chocolate teapots.
Chocolate teapots.
And Derek the psychic seahorse.
Woohoo!
To listen to the full-length version of this podcast, go to patreon.com/Studio Senseless and become a patron of Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.